Hello, my name is Thomas Monz. I'm CEO at AQD, located in Innsbruck, Austria. On November 9th of 1989, I was about 8 years old. I was likely playing outside, but I do remember that when I got home, I saw the news of a certain mall in Germany being torn down. And only after discussing with my parents, I slowly started to realize the both political and social impact of the events. When I was a kid, I started to ask questions like, why is fire red? Why is the sky blue? Why are leaves green? I wanted to not only ask those questions, I wanted to be able to answer those questions, help people that had similar questions. And so, luckily, with support and guidance from both my parents, my physics teachers, and later on professors, I can now happily say that I am where I wanted to be. I do ask those questions, I can answer them, but we can also think about new questions that no one has thought about yet before. And we can do that now at AQT with probably the most amazing team I could ask for. Classical computers for the last 15 years didn't get any faster. We are solely combining in a linear fashion more and more of the normal computers that are standing around. However, the demand for computational capacity is growing exponentially. We really have to look into new paradigms of doing computation. What you can see here is a quantum processor up there, and it allows us to implement calculations, for instance, for chemistry, material design, medicine in a completely new fashion in means that are not doable anymore with classical computers. For the last 15 years, classical computers didn't get any faster, and so we have to look into new ways of doing computation. At AQD, we are storing and manipulating single atoms in devices such as this one up here, in order to implement a quantum computer that can address challenges in chemistry, medicine, and material design. For instance, to allow us to look into targeted medicine for people, to address challenges in chemistry such as fertilizers, or into superconducting materials operating at room temperature to compensate for losses from energy production to end users. One of the biggest problems to overcome for every one of us in the coming century is to fight climate change. And in order to do that, we have to seriously think about how can we get all this carbon dioxide out of the air again. One way to do that is, can we regrow many of the forests that we have cut down? And in order to do that, we need fertilizers. But the fertilizers we currently produce are mainly based on the Haber-Bosch method, which is already 100 years old and currently consumes about 5% of the global power production. So doing more of the same is likely not going to be successful. The quantum computers, as you can see behind me, offer us an interesting alternative to get a better understanding on how can we produce new fertilizers cheaper and more efficiently. Probably the key two challenges that we are currently trying to address is, can we turn the devices, as you see behind me, into products that offer a viable and interesting solution beyond the capabilities of classical computers? And in order to get there, we have to push the system capabilities beyond these, let's say, 10 to 100 qubits that we can currently work with, but push towards 1,000 up to millions of qubits to really offer some interesting solutions. So in that sense, yes, there are many technical challenges to overcome, which our friends and family usually might not be able to understand. But I can wholeheartedly say that given that we convey the message of where we want to head, we do have the fullest support.